The member for Solomon.
My questions to the Prime Minister. I refer the Prime Minister to her promise before the election to establish a regional processing centre in East Timor to dissuade unauthorised arrivals from coming to Australia. As she is yet to present a formal proposal to the Government of East Timor and has reversed her pre-election commitment not to expand detention centres in Australia, and given that today the 107th boat this year has arrived, why should the Australian people trust her to stop the boats?
The Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for her question, which I understand to be her first question in this parliament. And can I say, in answer to her question, there are a number of asserted facts in it which simply aren't the case. Now, I understand that the member may not have researched all of those matters herself, but can I say to the member, point number one, the government, of course, is pursuing dialogue with East Timor, on the question of a regional protection framework and regional processing centre. As I've had cause to say in the parliament this week on a number of other occasions, the Minister for Immigration was in Dili, in Jakarta, in Kuala Lumpur, pursuing discussion as recently as last week. On the question of detention centre capacity, the government has made a series of announcements. We wanted to provide transparently certainty to Australians and to communities. We were well aware that there were fear campaigns being whipped up in various parts of the country. I certainly don't suggest that was being done by the member who asked the question, but was being done, and consequently we wanted to clarify the government's long-term intentions in relation to detention centres. We also made what I believe is an important announcement about the treatment of children and families, and it still is not clear to me what the Leader of the Opposition's position is on that announcement. On some occasions he said that it's the work of the Howard government and he sought to claim credit for it. On other occasions he's repudiated it, saying somehow it would exacerbate problems. At some point he will have to pick
Prime
between
Minister
the two.
resume her seat. Not directed to the Manager of Opposition Business, but a warning as a prelude to a naming. The Manager of Opposition Business has the call.
Mr Speaker, on the issue of direct relevance, I can't work out how the Prime Minister's answer at the moment could be possibly relevant to the question she was asked by the member for Solomon, and I'd ask you to ask her to return to the question.
I will be listening carefully to the response of the Prime Minister, but she must know that to wander into the policies of other parties may be stretching it on this occasion to this question, even though it was fairly broad by the end of it. That question, that is. The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. And the question made assertions about dialogue with East Timor and the Regional Processing Centre. I've answered that. The question made assertions about the government's detention
the member for
plans.
Cook. Prime Minister has the call. Prime Minister.
The question made assertions about the government's detention policies, and I've answered that. The question also made assertions about dealing with the question of unauthorised boat arrivals. And I'd say to the member that, as I've had cause to say in the parliament earlier this week, this is a complex problem. I do not believe in three-word slogans. I do not believe in boat phone. I do not believe in the Prime Minister of the nation pretending that he or she is in a better position than a patrol boat commander to deal with a situation at sea. What I do believe in, Mr Speaker, is working through dialogue on a regional protection framework and regional processing centre, and the government is doing precisely that.